Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machan Leira Online Smicha. The title that you give a bar mitzvah boy when he's entering his bar mitzvah, we call him the Bachor HaBar Mitzvah. The young Bachor, the young lad, the bar mitzvah boy. And I'd like to spend a couple of minutes just explaining the exact three words, Bachor, Bar, Mitzvah. Bachor means a young man, but Bachor also means chosen. Chosen to do what? We say in davening every day, Haboicher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ava. Hashem who chooses the Jewish people ba'ava with love. Ahava, we know, is the gematria of 13. When does Hashem choose every one of us fully with love? When you turn 13. When you become a mechuyev b'mitzvahs, that's when Hashem shows His true love and places upon us the chiyuvim, the responsibilities that He feels that we're able to connect with Him with the taryag mitzvahs. Up to then, yes, there's a bris, yes, there's a Jewish child, but as the Shulchan Aruch says, that the Gemar Knisas Nefesh HaKdusha comes in by 13, and that's when He shows. That's when it's proven Hashem chose us as the Bachor who will from now on be able to have the capability or have the rights to fulfill the mitzvah. A Bachor, Bar Mitzvah. What kind of word is Bar? Why not Ben, the son of Ben Mitzvah, a young son, and why specifically in the description of a son, not a Baal Mitzvah? The opposite, you call somebody who does a lot of averas, you call him a Baal Avera. Why by the Bar Mitzvah you call him a Bar Mitzvah? So it says in Sfarim that a Baal Avera means somebody who does Rahman al-Tzlan Averas is compared to the relationship as a husband and a wife. Why? Because a husband and a wife, if things don't go well, Rahman al-Tzlan, there is a way that they can disconnect. And that is through divorce, through a get. Whereas the mitzvah, when you connect into Hashem through a mitzvah, there's what that mitzvah sticks with you, and you want it to be with you forever and ever. So that's why it's not something that could change. It's like the relationship, not like a husband and wife, but it's like the relationship of father and son. Do what you want, say what you want. He is still the father and he's still the son, and that's the connection that Yid gets when he does a mitzvah. But why not Ben? Why do we use the Aramaic word Bar? So for this, there's also beautiful explanations. The Klei Yakar says one of the reasons why it's mentioned. One of the reasons why it's a Bar mitzvah, not a Ben mitzvah, is because up to this time, even though the kid is being trained to do mitzvahs and he's practicing and he does chinuch. But until now, it's all for himself because he's not yet mature enough or age enough where he can help others. Bar in Aramaic means outside. Outside. From now on, not only he's one who's able to do things for himself, he could bench and have other people in mind. He can make a bracha. He can help out others with a minyan. So he becomes a bar mitzvah. His mitzvahs also affect other people. And which is a great, great, great lesson because from now on, you're not only for yourself. The Lev Simcha of Ger, one of the Ger Rebbe says, that's why we find that Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai was not called Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, we call him Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, because for many, many years, he was locked in a cave. And he did very great things, very lofty things. But he became Bar Yochai when he realized that it's not enough to be locked in the cave. Now he has to go out to the world and share the light of the Torah, share the light of his experiences to the rest of the world. That's the Bar. And that happens to every Bar Mitzvah Bachor, that he's no more for himself. All his actions affect others. It says in other Svarim that this inside-outside, the Bar also has two other meanings. Number one is that a person has to, when he trains himself, when you educate a child, you have to educate him to be that the inside, or his pneumius, should also be his chitzonis. Don't be worried about the outside, what they think and what people say. You should really exuberate the warmth of Yiddishkeit and the Chassidischkeit, not only within, but really let it be shown and felt on the outside. The Meshech Chochmah says that bar means outside, because at this time, at the beginning of a child's life, meaning even at the beginning of the bar mitzvah, when he's turning 13, he's still standing outside, in the sense, everything in the Torah was given to us that you're able to make choices. A Yid is a Baal Bechira. So we tell him that you're about to enter a opportunity in your life from now on that you could become a Ben Mitzvah, but it's your decisions, your choices. Hopefully your choices will be to make a mitzvah. So you're standing from the outside and making the choice to do a mitzvah. Now, the whole concept of a bar mitzvah is not mentioned anywhere in the Torah straight. And we don't see anywhere in the Torah that says that when a 13-year-old you become a bar mitzvah. And we find two beautiful reasons for this. The Klei Yoker in Chumash Vayikra, Pasuk Perek Chav Gimel, Pasuk Tezayin, he says, because the day of a bar mitzvah is like the day of Matan Torah. Just like when the day of Matan Torah wasn't written clearly in the Torah that on the 6th day of Nisan, the 7th, whatever is when the Torah was given. Why not? It's a very special day, because the Eibishter wanted that the day of Matan Torah should not be a one-day celebration. A person has to know that for him, your Matan Torah is every single day. Every single day you have a Matan Torah. So therefore, he didn't want to limit it to one. The same is when a Bachar becomes a Bar Mitzvah, you have to know that this excitement of fulfilling mitzvahs is not a one-time thing and then voila, it's gone. It's something that has to last with him forever and ever. The Chassam Sofer says one of the reasons why Bar Mitzvah is not mentioned in the Torah is because the Eibishter didn't want a person should become obligated to mitzvahs by force and say, okay, this is a mitzvah, this is what you got to do. We want the Bar Mitzvah Bachar should take upon himself the yoke of Torah mitzvahs because that's what he wants. And if it would have been a commandment, it would have been a little more harder on the person, as if it's a thing being done by force. And that's why the concept of Bar Mitzvah is not mentioned in the Torah. I'd like to finish off with two other points. There's a discussion also why it says Bar Mitzvah and not Bar Mitzvahs. At this day you become obligated in all mitzvahs. But there's a beautiful vart, a drush. I might top this off. Of course, a boy becoming Bar Mitzvah is a very lofty time, it's a very special time. He's entering the Chiyuv HaMitzvahs and all that. But we say every morning, right before Hoidu, we say Rabbi Shmuel Omer, right? What is that statement? That there's 13 different ways how the Chachamim learn a pasuk to derive a halacha. But I once read a Chassidish pshat. Rabbi Shmuel Omer, Shmuel says, B'shloish esrei, when a person turns 13, what's most important? How do we know if he's on the right path? Midas HaTorah nidreshes. The Torah wants to see, does he have fine midas? The first thing is Torah does to a person, refines a person, makes him a more kind, more compassionate person. Of course, it's important to learn Torah, but remember, B'shloish esrei, Torah, midas HaTorah nidreshes. Torah demands that you should be a person, a mensch with good midas. And then there's another famous Chassidish pshat on the Mishnah, that Ur la ba'asar boitkinas hachametz la'er in there. Ur la ba'asar means the night of the Bar Mitzvah, the time when a person is he finished his 13th year and he's entering his 14th. Ur la ba'asar. Before you get to that situation, boitkinas hachametz, search for the chametz, search for the Yetzer Hara, and get rid of the Yetzer Hara, because now you're going to have this constant struggle between the Yetzer Tov and the Yetzer Hara, and hopefully this Bachar Bar Mitzvah will do Bachar, will choose, make the right decision to only do mitzvahs.